Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samastajana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidwaram Satgurum Brahmavidwaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. 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 Sixth mantra, second valli. Nasamparayah pratibhati balam pramadyantam vittamohena mudham ayam loko nasti para iti mani punaf punar vashamapadyate me Shravanayapi bahubhiryo na labhyah Shrunvantopi bahavoyam na vidyuh Ascharyo vakta kushalosya labdha Ascharyo jnata kushalanushishtah. Yamacharya is praising Nachiketa through his Varanam. Varanam means the choice that he has made. He says this is something really praiseworthy. For many people, the Shreya Marga doesn't come in front as a choice at all. Life just goes on without knowing that I have a choice between Shreya and Preya. Nasamparayah pratibhati balam. This path of Samparaya, it doesn't become apparent to everybody. Samparaya means Shreya Marga, some higher world. At least, if not Shreya, some higher world hereafter. That there is something beyond this world, that thought itself doesn't come. And sometimes, even if he has heard this truth, he is not serious about it. Pramadyantam vittamohena mudham. Pramada means inadvertence. What we saw in morning classes, ayatihi. Not putting forth sufficient effort to actually get this self-abidance. He gets caught up with several other pursuits. That person is pramadyantam. Vittamohena mudham. All resources, wealth that he has, it should have helped him to accomplish the main purpose. But instead of helping him, it started deluding him. He started feeling there is no need for Shreya Marga. There is no need for self-abidance. Pramadyantam vittamohena mudham ayam lokah nasti para iti mani. Suddenly he starts feeling there is nothing beyond this world. This world alone is everything. Yamacharya said, if we don't believe in rebirth, rebirth doesn't stop. Punah punah vashamapadyate me. Time and again they come to meet me. They are caught up in this samsara. Do you all remember there was some reflection question last time? What was the question? That was one. That is personal reflection question. Am I on path of prayer or am I walking on the path of Shreya? That was last time or last to last time? Last to last time. Last time questions was, why is rebirth a bondage? Why is Punarjanma a bondage? That we have to reflect. Punarjanma maza nahi, saza hai. It is not fun, it's a punishment. I hope all of you are reflecting. My job is just to give questions and move on. Okay. Some points we will discuss, but some points are for our own reflection. Shiva Parada Kshamapana Stotram, we can take reference from there. And then just see why rebirth is a bondage. Then Bhagavan pointed out, Yamacharya pointed out, rarity of self-knowledge. He said there are many people, majority people, why many people? They will not even get to listen about Atma. There is something called as consciousness beyond this world of objects. See, even to come to mind level requires a lot of thinking. There is some part of my personality beyond physical body. To pay attention to that personality itself is a great accomplishment. Subtler than this mind is vasanas. The ignorance which is seated and all the desires which are deep-rooted. To appreciate there is one layer of my personality which is unseen, that also needs thinking. What to talk about that Atma, which is subtler than the subtlest, many don't even get to listen about it. If at all we get to listen, that is a result of punya karma from the past. Taponji Maharaj has one quote. He says, desire for spiritual life is the ripening of merits across several lives. And that desire could be even one small desire to do some japa, to do some puja, to do some sadhana. All of that, the final desire a person can have on the spiritual pursuit is to seek wholeheartedly self-abidance. Shrunvantopi bahavo yamna vidyuho. Many people might listen to it, but not everybody gets what they are talking about. Shankaracharya said, it is because of less punya karma. If that knowledge doesn't become clear, means I have to increase more of my punya account. How we deposit in our bank account, right? There is one account of punya. So all the japa we do, all the sadhana we do, that gets accumulated there. Shrunvantopi bahavo yamna vidyuho. Ascharyo vakta kushalosya labdha. To get somebody to help us understand Vedanta, that itself is rare. You know, when you look at life of Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, you will understand that line, Ascharyam means what? What was the main teaching of Shankaracharya ji? Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, and you are that Brahma. Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Means in his own eyes, there is nothing called as world. There is only one non-dual truth. There is nothing called as Jagat. In that Mithya Jagat, he walked length and breadth of the country. In that Mithya Jagat, he was able to write commentaries, Prakarana Granthas. He says to get somebody who is accepting duality while himself abiding in non-duality. He says that is a wonder. This is where we had seen Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's example also. He said disciple is from student standpoint, guru is from student standpoint. He says from my standpoint, There is neither disciple nor guru. If such a Mahatma is willing to teach, he says that is an Ascharyam. That is a wonder. Then comes the student, Ascharyo Jnata. Having taught by such a teacher, having taught by this Guru Parampara, the one who understands non-duality in the midst of duality, that student is a wonder. He starts his journey by saying, I am sitting here, I am listening to Mahavakya, somebody is teaching Mahavakya, but you ask him how many things are there. He doesn't say 3 things. There is only one non-dual truth that I have understood. One who understands in this way, in the midst of duality, that student is a wonder. Ascharyo Jnata Kushalanushishtah. So our effort should be to become the last line. We don't have to worry about the first 3 lines because you've already gotten Shravanam. And if you are doing it sincerely, we ourselves will start feeling Vedanta doesn't look esoteric anymore. It doesn't look some kind of mystic concept. I'm appreciating what they're talking about. Shrunvantopi bahavoyam na vidyuhu should not apply. Yes, I'm understanding what they're talking. So what should I put forth effort in? Try to own up this knowledge. Sense organs reporting duality, intellect having conviction in non-duality. Sense organs reporting duality, conviction will always be in intellect. Conviction will not be in Atma, neither in body. See, all knowledge that we get will happen only in intellect. Sometimes we say, oh, this listening to Vedanta and all gives intellectual knowledge. It's a knowledge, whether it is of world or of Vedanta, take place only in intellect. It will not take place either in body or in some outside object. But that knowledge which has taken place in intellect, he is able to abide by it. Not because duality has disappeared. That would have been very easy, right? If we had some way by which you can erase duality literally, all of us would be Brahmanishta. You see nothing but non-duality because duality is remote, like in deep sleep. In deep sleep, perception of duality is wiped off. But see how nicely Bhagwan has made that arrangement. While we are in deep sleep, we cannot know it. We don't have knowledge while we are in deep sleep. When we wake up, we are able to recollect it. But liberation is that where while waking, while perceiving duality, he is still able to pay attention to that non-dual truth. Understanding in this way is a wonder. That itself is Ascharyam. Ascharyo Jnata Kushalanushishtah. Next mantra, Yamacharya says, taught by whom this knowledge will not become clear, and taught by whom this knowledge will become clear. It's a very beautiful mantra. Nanarena varena prokta eshah. Nanarena varena prokta eshah. Suvidneyo bahudha chintyamanaha. Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. Aniyan hyatarkyamanu pramanat. Nanarena varena prokta eshah. Suvidneyo bahudha chintyamanaha. Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. Aniyan hyatarkyamanu pramanat. I hope all of you have books by now. If you don't, then please do get one. This Upanishad is such, we will have to look at the mantra and we will have to take some notes. I had mentioned it in one session. After completing one text, if we start the same text again, it looks so new because it evaporates as we keep going forward. And in particular, this mantra, if you notice, Shankaracharya will give 3 meanings of the word or 4 meanings of Ananya Prokte Gatiratra Nasti. So those points you will have to note. Okay. Na narena avarena proktaha eshaha suvidnyeyaha. If this teaching is given by an avara nara, what is the translation of avara given there? Inferior intellect. If this teaching is given by avara nara means, instead of inferior intellect, you can say ordinary intellect. Ordinary intellect. What is ordinary in this? Naratva abhimana is still not gone. I am a man, I am a person. That notion is still lingering. Body identification is still lingering. This conviction that I am Brahma has not fully taken root. When teaching is given by such a person, that teaching doesn't become clear to the student. Why doesn't it become clear? Bahuda chintyamana. Different people have understood this Atma in different ways. Somebody calls it Saguna, somebody calls it Nirguna, somebody calls it Vishishta. So there are so many different ways in which people have explained it. That is why this knowledge doesn't become clear if it is taught by somebody who is not abiding in that truth. Without having seen the truth, it will be just hearsay. I have heard there is something called as Brahma, attaining which all sorrows go away. The traditional example for this is, there was one guru who learnt the definition of a camel. Definition of camel given to him was, Ushtraha nama pakshi visheshaha. Ushtraha means camel. Pakshi literally means bird. Vishesha means specific type of bird. So he heard it right from childhood. What is camel? He said, Ushtro nama pakshi vishesha. Whoever disciple came to him, when the question came about animals and they said, what is this camel? He taught all of them, camel is a bird. Pakshi he translated as bird. Vishesha means specific type of bird. But Pakshi word there refers to hump of a camel. Where water can be stored, that is the meaning of the word Pakshi. Where water is stored. So it's a specific type of animal which stores its own water. Ushtraha nama Pakshi Vishesha. What was the limitation of that teacher? He heard about camel, did not see the camel. If he had seen the camel for himself, he would never have said camel is a bird. So he heard from somebody, Ushtro nama Pakshi Vishesha, and went on teaching camel is belonging to bird family. Like that, Avaranara is somebody who is not seen the truth yet. When this teaching is given by somebody who has not seen the truth, his doubts don't go away. When will this teaching become clear? Next line. Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. Ananya prokte gatihi atra nasti. So in your book, you can make 2 columns. Okay, first column is Ananya prokte. Second column is Gatihi atra nasti. Okay, first column is Ananya prokte. Second is Gatihi atra nasti. Shankaracharya will give 4 meanings of these 2 words. And each meaning will open up several things for us as far as this journey is concerned. Ready, everybody? First meaning of Ananya Prokte is when it is taught by a teacher who is abiding in Brahma. Ananya Prokte is he doesn't see himself as different from Brahma. Teacher who is abiding in consciousness. Ananya, prokte, spoken by such a teacher. Gatihi atra nasti. Gati atra nasti means no doubts remain in the student. No doubts remain in the student. We will understand nature of the truth. This is how it is. Doubts whether it is saguna or nirguna, whether it is unchanging or changing. Is Jagat Satyam or Mithya? Am I that Brahman or am I like Brahman? No doubts will remain, all doubts will go. What is the meaning of the word Ananya Prokte? Taught by Brahmanishta Acharya, one who is abiding in consciousness. Gatiha atra nasti means no doubts remain in the student. Okay, that is the first meaning. Second one, Ananya Prokte goes with student. When the student is taught in such a way that you are Brahma, when student is taught in such a way, you are that consciousness, Gatihi atra nasti. For that student, nothing else remains to be known. For that student, nothing else remains to be known. Because he understands, I am that consciousness and everything else is an appearance in me, that consciousness. This body, this mind, this intellect, and the world outside that I am seeing, it is not independently there, it's an appearance in me, the pure consciousness. And because I am the cause of creation, I am the substratum of creation, nothing in this creation remains unknown from me. For example, let's say there is some clay kept over here. You came in the morning, you saw that lump of clay. You went for your Balvihar class, came back 4 hours later. On one table they have kept pot, pan, jug. Another table, they have made something of that clay, but they have covered it and kept. Now you saw only that lump of clay. Now you are seeing all these utensils of clay. Some portion of clay you are seeing it. You say, I know. This pot, pan has come from that clay only. That clay alone became this pot and pan. Now if somebody says there is something else also there, what will you say? Whatever name and form is there, I know it is made from the same clay. I might not know the name and form, but if I know the cause, I know all effects. If cause is known, no effect remains to be known. If cause is known, all effects become known to me. Another classic example is gold and ornaments. If I know the gold, I know all ornaments. Know all the ornaments means what? I might not know name and form of that ornament. But whatever name and form is there, it is made from this same gold. Like that, once I know consciousness and understand this whole universe is an emergence from that consciousness, nothing in this universe remains unknown. Name and form I might not know. But since I have known the substratum, I have known the cause, all effects become known to me. Yesterday when we were discussing this, somebody asked a question. See, what the problem is, your examples are easy to understand. I understood how that clay became all the pot and pan. Clay becomes known, all the utensils become known. Gold example is also easy to understand. Gold is known, all ornaments are known. But how does the transition happen between pot and clay, gold and ornament, to Atma and Jagat? He said, that is where I am having difficulty to extrapolate how to go from this example to what you want to illustrate. Do you all feel that way? First of all, example is clear, right? Right? If that clay was kept, no matter who does whatever name and form from that clay, all names and forms, you know that substratum is the same clay. So there is nothing new they are going to make, just give some shape to it. Like that, if consciousness becomes known, and I understand everything is emerging from that consciousness, then no effect remains unknown. I know every effect. Name and form I might not know. Specific details of that effect I might not know. But I say it is an appearance in the same consciousness. So he said these examples look clear. Pot and clay, ornament and gold, wave and water. You know the water, all waves become known. But how do I extrapolate it to consciousness and Jagat? See, here we should note one point. Illustration is called as drishtanta. Illustration or example is called as drishtanta. What I want to illustrate, the main point is called as darshtanta. What I want to illustrate is called as darshtanta. The illustration and illustrated will never be the same thing. So there is no transition happening from the example to your main point. Example will always be different, illustration will always be different than what you want to illustrate. One example that we have taken, see, if I want to understand how spicy a food is. Somebody made, let's say, some pizza. Looks very spicy with all the chili flakes and everything. It is there. Now you ask how spicy this is. Is this spicy? Now you cannot say, yes, this is spicy like this pizza. You cannot give that pizza example to explain me how spicy it is. You can say this pizza is spicy like Thai food. On a scale of 1 to 10, it is 9.5. They have that scale, right? I heard if you eat 10, your photo goes on some restaurants, they have it. So I can use Thai food to explain how spicy this is. Now, what is the relation between pizza and Thai food? There is no relationship. It is used to illustrate some similarity. So similarity is spice. Like that, to help us understand how knowing the cause, effects become known, they are using some illustrations. One illustration happens to be clay and pot, and all other things which are made from clay. If I know the cause, all effects are known. But they don't want to illustrate clay and pot. It is just an example. The main point to be communicated is, this world has emerged from consciousness. If I know consciousness, world becomes known to me. We have Purva Paksha. Yes.
So when you say, if I know the cause, all the effects are known to me.
Yes.
Who is this me here? Like, who are you referring to by me? Is it the mind? Is it the intellect? Or is it the consciousness?
Consciousness will not know anything. So question is, whom are we referring to? I know everything when I say, it is this mind and intellect together which gains all knowledge. But knowledge is not only limited to knowing and not knowing. I should be able to shift attention to that truth. I should be able to shift attention to consciousness and say whatever or wherever this mind is going, everything is an emergence and appearance in this consciousness. That is the main thing here. Knowing the cause, all effects become known. There is no place where this mind runs. If it was something unknown, something fascinating, that is the only reason why this mind goes towards that object. But if I know it is me, myself, just a name and form given to consciousness, then there is no fascination remaining for that thing. If you want one intermediary step, that particular object, no matter which object it is, first boil it down to 5 elements. Instead of calling this mic, call it as earth element. From earth, dissolve it into previous element. Where did earth come from? From water. Where did water come from? From fire. Where did fire come from? Air. Not water. Again, air. Where did air come from? Space. Where did space come from? Maya. Maya. 3 gunas of Maya, Panchikaranam happened. That is when space emerged. Where is Maya rooted? In consciousness. In conscious. See, we have studied this right from Tattva Bodha. Why are they describing this Panchikaranam process? To help us understand, origin of creation is not matter. Origin of creation is consciousness. So in that way, one who has understood, when he knows this truth, nothing remains to be known anymore. This is the question of Kathopanishad. Kasminno bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati iti. What is that knowing which everything will become known to me? There won't be any incompleteness left, seeking or hoping that I will get joy through that thing. He understands joy is nature of Atma, that is who I am. This is the second meaning. Question?
Would this example be a better one from the water, ice and gas?
Yes.
Same thing becomes in 3 different ways.
Water, ice and gas example is used for Saguna becoming or Nirguna becoming Saguna. Same truth appears as different. So that example is relevant there. More questions, okay.
Confusion, I'd say. When I listen to you, the last time I heard you, it looked very implementable. But now when I listen to you, it sounds very much, think of Western philosophy, Vaidama, right? A lot of metaphysical speculations, if you will, but doesn't lead me to any concrete action per se. So it's a little bit confusing, I think. So there's sort of a lot of thinking,
Yes.
speculation, which makes very good sense.
Yes.
But beyond that, it's hard to see how to use it in everyday. What is the understanding and how do we use it in everyday living? Is it very
Yes.
hard to understand, I think.
Very good. If we appreciate that point, we will appreciate how Vedanta works. Yes, I will repeat the question. The question is, whenever we study Vedanta, it looks like there is no implementation after it. Whereas when we are studying Karma Yoga, I know precisely what to do next. See, these are 2 stages of our spiritual journey. What did we discuss before starting second Valli? Sadhana Chatushtaya. Sadhana Chatushtaya, Viveka, Vairagya. All those qualities are used for practical application. How can I live my life holding on to these values, having these qualities? But the purpose is not only to bring those qualities. What am I supposed to do after having these qualities? After having these qualities, I have to aim for that truth, having known which all my sorrow goes away. So where is sorrow coming from? I think I am this body, I am this mind, I am this intellect. Having identified with this conditioning comes the notion that I am doer and I am experiencer. Sadhana is to be good doer and good experiencer. But the purpose of Vedanta is to lead us to this understanding that I am not doer, I am not experiencer. In knowledge, there is no doing. If I tell you this is yellow color, what do you have to do next? Nothing. You just use your eyes and know this is yellow. Like that, Vedanta is telling us you are consciousness. And this world which is there is an appearance in that consciousness. This is an understanding, there is no doing involved here. Until I feel I can be free from sorrow by adjusting body, mind and intellect, by adjusting situations outside. Which marga am I walking on? Preya marga. So to appreciate Vedanta, what it demands is more reflection. What it demands is more thinking about why should I seek this truth. Then it becomes a joy. When you start understanding that this is talking about me, this is who I am, then it's a great joy to start knowing about ourselves. Somebody went to Gurudev and he said, Gurudev, you should write your autobiography. Because many people are writing so many things, you don't know what is right, what is wrong. He said, my autobiography is written in Upanishads. If you are writing anything else, it is not of what I really am. That is the path Upanishads are showing us, our own true nature as unconditioned consciousness. There is another way to look at it also. Once a person abides in consciousness, holding on to that knowledge, he says, look at this world. Don't assume you are part of this world and then try to seek a solution in this world. Be a witness of this world and then start looking at this world. Something new will open up. That is Vedanta's way of looking at it. Okay, this was the second meaning. Ananya prokte gatihi atra nasti. Ananya prokte means when student is taught you are consciousness, you are Brahma. Gatihi atra nasti. Nothing remains to be known anymore. Everything becomes known to him. There is nothing unknown anymore. Now, third meaning of Ananya Prokte. Ananya Prokte just remains the same. It goes with student. When student is taught in such a way that you are Brahma, you are consciousness. Gatihi atra nasti means there is no samsara gati. No samsara remaining for that student. There is no samsara remaining for that student. Now, what is samsara according to Vedanta? We think generally neighbor is samsara, somebody is bothering, that person is samsara. Vedanta's definition of samsara is thinking that I am jiva. Holding on to this notion that I am this ego, that itself is bija of samsara. Once that first mistake is committed, series of mistakes keep happening after that. As this jiva, no matter what I do, absolute sorrow, absolute cessation of sorrow will not take place. So what is the meaning of freedom from samsara? Freedom from jivatva. Our sadhana part is to keep observing this mind. If it does something wrong, what did we see today morning? Abhyasa and vairagya. Repetition, conversation. Repeatedly we should keep having with this mind. That mind which is well controlled, we can start observing that ego also. Once mind becomes well controlled, we can start observing that ahankara. Okay, I'll ask you one question. Mind might bring erroneous thoughts, mind might bring good thoughts. I should keep away erroneous thoughts, I should encourage good thoughts. Who is doing this choice? Is it ahankara or is it atma? Ahankara. Ahankara, intellect, you can keep them together. So to make sure that I have a beautiful mind, the onus is on ahankara. When I do shravanam of values, who is doing that shravanam? Ahankara. Atma doesn't do shravanam. Huh? Atma is just illumining. Ahankara does shravanam. Ahankara has to control the mind. Now that mind which is well controlled, the phalashruti of that is, this ahankara becomes seen. That mind which is well controlled, I can make that ahankara as an object. What was my first project? Through ahankara, to make mind as an object. And to judge between good thoughts, bad thoughts. Path of pleasant, path of good. That distinction is done by intellect or ahankara. But when Vedanta knowledge becomes clear for such a ahankara, which has done its first project well, the beauty of that is, we are able to make this ahankara itself as an object. I will continue first, later I'll open up for questions, otherwise the flow gets broken a little bit. First try to note down all the points, internalize it, reflect upon it, then we can discuss. What did I say? First thing is ahankara witnessing or ahankara trying to hold on to thoughts. Good thoughts it will hold on to, bad thoughts it will keep away. The result of such a pursuit is that ahankara becomes different from me. I am able to look at it as an object. Otherwise, if ahankara is turbulent, ahankara is strongly attached to outside world, objects and thoughts, there is no way I can make this ahankara as an object. That ego which is quiet and mellow, I can start distancing from that ego. That is the third meaning. One who understands nature of Brahma as his own swarupa, ananya prokte, gatihi atra nasti. He will not have any samsara left. Means his jivatva will be removed from his life for good. That is true freedom from samsara. Last one is Ananya Prokte, again goes with teacher now. Ananya Prokte is when it is taught by a teacher who is abiding in this truth, Brahmanishta Acharya. Gatihi atra nasti means there is no way the student will not get it. Gatihi atra nasti, there is no way student will not get it. Agatihi nasti, there is no way the student will not get this truth. Okay. 4 perspectives we saw. Ananya Prokte, first meaning was taught by Brahmanishta Acharya. Gatihi atra nasti means no doubts remain in the student. Second meaning of Ananya Prokte, when student is taught, you are Brahma. Gatihi atra nasti means nothing else remains to be known. Then third meaning of Ananya Prokte also went with student. When student is taught, you are Brahma. Gatihi atra nasti means no samsara remains for that sadhaka. He is able to listen to this truth and negate his own ego. Last one is Ananya Prokte goes with teacher again. When it is taught by Brahmanishta teacher, Gatiratra Nasti means there is no way student will not get it. Okay, now you can ask. Yes.
You had mentioned that initially Ahankar, you make Ahankar, you make the mind an object, and then I make Ahankar an object.
I is consciousness, makes Ahankar as an object, yes.
Consciousness is just presuming. So when I say I make Ahankar an object, have I become a Sakshi at that point? Or how do I make myself an object?
See, the meaning of I, the question is, the first statement was, ahankara makes mind as an object, means it is seeing thoughts. It is judging between good thoughts and bad thoughts. And the second is, I make ahankara as an object. So who is this I that is making this ahankara as an object? Is that correct? Did I rephrase it correctly? The beauty is, through that knowledge which I have gained in my intellect, I have to understand I am not intellect looking at consciousness. I am consciousness looking at intellect. Right from the beginning, this is how it was. But because my attention was turned outside, I failed to appreciate this point. Because my attention was turned outside, I failed to appreciate this point. What is the true meaning of I? So turning inwards is just to appreciate what is already happening. I don't become Sakshi. If I become Sakshi, then what was I before? A Sakshi. You see, there is no becoming at a given instance. It is to understand that this is what the case was. A very good answer that I have found is in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan says, first put forth effort to quieten the mind. Let no thought rise in the mind. Then you bring Atma Lakshana. Whatever we have studied in Vedanta, bring that Atma Lakshana. Just take one Atma Lakshana. I am Adreshyam. I am that consciousness which never becomes seen. And hold on to thought. He says, with this, no questions will remain. The point is, truth is something we have to see. Whatever mananam we are doing, it should help us to see the truth. So what is the way to see the truth? The first step is quieten the mind. Let it not go towards objects. In that mind which is quietened, that mind, that consciousness which is witnessing that silent mind, in that silent mind you bring Atma Lakshana. And keep one Atma Lakshana for an extended period of time. That itself is abidance, that itself is Nididhyasanam. One mistake that can happen here is, we might skip the first step. We might say, I am a witness of mind anyway, right? Let me be witness of all kinds of thoughts. Anyway, in Trigdrishya Viveka, what did Vidyaranya Swamiji say? Kamadhyaha chittaga drishyaha. Thought of desire is there, anger is there. You are the witness of all of that. So this sadhaka also says there is no need to control anger, no need to control desire. I will be witness of that desirous thought. Our mind will take us away with it. So 6th chapter, Bhagwan again and again reminds us, Manas Sanyamya. Withdraw this mind, control this mind. That silent mind is witnessed by consciousness. Meditate upon the glory of that consciousness. It is that in which this universe appears, that which is eternal. In that way, we should take forward our journey. Okay. The one who is witnessing is Sakshi alone. Drishyaha dhivrittayaha Sakshi. Drishyaha dhivrittaya Sakshi. Drugeva natu drishyate. It will never become an object. It is always the seer. Ananya prokte gatihi atra nasti. Now the next mantra says, whatever logic we are using, it should help us strengthen our understanding, not negate our understanding. Because this truth is something which is not understood through intellect. It is the illuminator of intellect. So even if you are using some logic, through that logic you cannot illumine that truth. That truth will be illumined through Upanishad Pramana. I can use logic to help me understand what Upanishads have revealed. That is the message of this mantra, but a very powerful mantra. Naisha tarkena matirapaneya प्रोक्तान्येनैव सुज्ञानाय प्रेष्ठ यां त्वमापश्यत्य धृतिर्बतासि त्वादृङ्नो भूयान्नचिकेतः पृष्टा नैषा तर्केण मतिरापनेया प्रोक्तान्येनैव सुज्ञानाय प्रेष्ठ यां त्वमापश्यत्य धृतिर्बतासि त्वादृङ्नो भूयान्नचिकेतः पृष्टा न एषा तर्केण मतिः आपनेया. This knowledge is something which we cannot gain through mere intellection. It is something that has to be heard. That is something after hearing I should reflect upon and actually try to shift that mind from where it is stuck right now to where these words are pointing it to. In that there is no logic involved. Many Mahatmas, they say, we just heard from our Guru, you are Brahma. And I held on to that. If Guru is saying, why would he say anything else but the truth? That much is sufficient to cross us across samsara. But our minds are not that easy. It will have so many questions, so many doubts. He say, use reasoning in such a way that you reach the same conclusion that Upanishad is pointing out to. If I use logic and reasoning to prove Jagat is Satyam, he says that reasoning is no good. Because without logic also our understanding was world is real. Vedanta brought this new understanding that you are consciousness, world is an appearance in you. And with logic I disproved Vedanta. He says Vedanta doesn't have anything to lose. I will be the one who is losing out. One commentator, he writes, Naisha tarkena mati apaneya means that knowledge which has come to you through Shravanam. Don't allow it to be negated by logic. Esha matihi tarkena na apaneya. Apaneya, another meaning is don't allow it to be removed. Be very careful of the company that you keep. Dussangah sarvatra eva tyajyah. That company which refutes our understanding of this truth, questions our understanding of this truth, don't hesitate to stay away. Don't hesitate to stay away means don't bring up these topics. Don't think that I will go and change that person's opinion. Our convictions might get shaken. Ramakrishna Paramahansa says, if there is a sapling, you have to build a fence around it to protect it. But once that sapling becomes a tree, you can tie an elephant to that tree. So these convictions that we are building right now is like a sapling. Protect it very carefully. Increase this abhyasa more and more that I am consciousness. Not this body, not this mind. And this world is not something out there, it is appearing in me. And when this conviction becomes too strong, he adds one more line there. He says, if your conviction becomes strong and you get injunction from God, then you go and do something. I like that in between part. It will have an impact only when that person gets injunction from God. And he gives example of Shankaracharya ji. They tried to save the world at a stage when their sapling had become a tree. They are like the wooden boat which can take many people across. If it is a small log of wood, branch of wood, bird comes and sits on it, it will sink. So our conviction has to first get that strength, then we can do something else. So logic is a double-edged sword. You can use it to prove something, or you can use that same logic to disprove something. So Vedanta doesn't give any importance to independent logic. Logic is based on what Upanishads have said. In other words, whenever you want to think about any topic, right, don't do independent inquiry. Take one Upanishad mantra, keep it in front of you, and then do reverential inquiry. You say, this mantra, this is what it is saying. How can I understand it such that this becomes true for me? Shreya and Preya, these are two different paths. Now this inquiry, if I have to do, I should start from Upanishad mantra. And my thinking should finally lead me to that same point. Even in court, when they argue some case, the lawyers are not allowed to make random points. What do they say? Whatever you are arguing should be based on the law. Two people might have different interpretations of the law, but you cannot say, this is what I think. You say, what you think is not a pramana. What you think is not valid means of knowledge. You have to show where the law says that. Based on that, you do reflection. And it's a great conversation that happens between all three of them, the two parties which are arguing and the judge. Like that, Upanishad says, this knowledge cannot be gained only through logic. It is gained first through Vedanta, pramana. I can use logic to help me understand what is Vedanta trying to tell me. Proktanyeneva sujnanaya preshtha. If it is taught by a teacher who is abiding in this truth, then it is very sujnaya. It will be very easily known, O preshtha. Preshtha means dearest one. Emails we write, right? Dear so and so. But if it's very close person, you say dearest so and so. Preshtha means priyatamaha. O dearest Nachiketa, this knowledge is gained through Upanishads, not through mere logic. Yam tvam apaha satyadutir batasi. That knowledge which you have gained because of your fortitude in the truth. Remember, Vedanta teaching of Yamacharya has not even started yet. And he is telling Nachiketa, that knowledge which you have gained because of your fortitude in the truth. Means he is so certain, Nachiketa will get it. That is the confidence of Yamacharya in the student and in his teaching. Yam tamapaha satyadhrutir batasi twadrungno bhuyan nachiketa prashta. O Nachiketa, may we get many students like you who have qualifications like you and ask questions like you. Yamacharya says, my job is not very pleasant. Wherever I go, people give me cold shoulder. When I come to Martyaloka, the only question I get asked is, how much more time do I remaining in this birth? The topic which I like to talk about, nobody asks about that. So he says, you are the one who has asked. You will become a nimitta. You will become a cause for this teaching to be taught, and many will benefit through you. That is the meaning of this. Twadrung no bhuyan nachiketa prashta. It is true that student seeks the teacher. But it is also true that teacher seeks the student. Look at Yamacharya. He says, may we get more and more students like you. We celebrate Guru Purnima, right? In addition to whatever else we might offer to our Guru, one thing we should definitely offer is more mumukshutvam, more sadhana chatushtaya. Because if you look at it from their eyes, that is what they really value. How will this jiva move forward? He has come this far. where is the next step that he can take? That is our Yamacharya, Twadrung no bhuyan nachiketah prashta. May there be many students like you. There are some more points about logic we will see in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.